Hey yo, tonight on Outside the Brand, we remember the life of Scott Hall. May he rest in peace. We'll be right back. What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining us right here on Outside the Brand. This is your Monday Night Raw post-show review for March 14th, 2022. I am your host, Phil, and this is, of course, Outside the Brand. Tonight's a very sad night for most wrestling fans around the world. Scott Hall, as many of you guys may know him as Razor Ramon, he sadly passed away tonight at the age of 63. He was just going in for a routine surgery after a fall he suffered earlier on this month. He was going in for routine hip surgery. And during that surgery, a blood clot opened up. And it caused him to have 3 heart attacks. Those heart attacks were so fatal that it led him to being in the hospital in Marietta, Georgia, and he was on life support. We then had news earlier on today that he was not doing well, and that once his family and friends were able to be with him in the hospital, they were actually going to take him off life support. Because at that point, with everything that they were trying to do to pretty much keep him in a stable environment and in a stable state, there was nothing left for them to do. While he was on life support, while he was actually off life support, when they actually took the plug off, he was actually able to breathe on his own for a little while, for at least a little while. But as soon as Raw went on the air tonight, we saw the graphic, as you guys saw at the beginning of the video, where it says, "In memory of Scott Hall," and that is when he was pronounced dead to us wrestling fans. Tonight on the post show, rather, we not only do a full review of Monday Night Raw from tonight, but we remember the life of Scott Hall. We will miss you, we love you, and you'll forever be in our hearts. May Scott Hall rest in peace. Now, we're just going to do a moment of silence here. I'm going to put the graphic back up, and we're just going to give a couple moments of silence for Scott Hall. We'll be right back. Thank you, guys. Okay, all right. Now that we got that taken care of, we will be talking more about Scott Hall later on in the review. But I do want to thank you guys so much for joining us right here on the Monday Night Raw post show. It's going to be hard to get through this. I'm not going to lie. It really will be. Okay, hold on 1 second, guys. Hey, can you hear me?
Yo.
Okay.
Hey, yo.
Okay. I don't know if you were in here when I was doing the whole when I was doing everything for the Scott Hall stuff.
I was watching.
Okay. You have no idea how hard that was for me.
I was watching. I was gonna come in, but I didn't want to interrupt you. You were doing this, so I didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. But yeah, that was real that was really difficult, guys. And the thing is, it's going to be really difficult to get through this review tonight, but we're going to do it. We're going to talk about Scott Hall, and we're going to do everything in our power to not only make this review at least somewhat special, but just be there for each other in this time of need. I understand everybody here that has been contacting me with all this stuff is going through it hard right now. Before we get into like the actual portion of the intro, well, you and I weren't really. I mean, we've seen Scott's stuff for sure. I mean, at this point, as professional wrestling fans, I think it would be pretty um, hard to admit that we haven't really seen much of his stuff. But from what I'm getting here is like we weren't really alive during the prime of his career, but that does not mean that this man has not changed the wrestling. Sorry, changed the landscape of professional wrestling as we know it today. What are your fondest memories of this man, if you have any?
Honestly, I didn't realize what was like. I unfortunately wasn't born around the time during his prime. Obviously, I don't think any of us were.
Right.
Except, like possibly Nate.
Yeah.
I think Nate was like around for maybe the tail end of it. When I first saw him like in like real time, it was in TNA, like during his last. It was a really peculiar thing they had in TNA. I think it was him and like I forget who else was in it. It was they were trying to do the same thing they did with the Outsiders. The Scott Hall was there and a few other guys. That was the first time I saw him like in real time. Obviously, just learning wrestling history, you learn about people like Scott Hall and one of the most dominant stables in wrestling history in the NWO. So you can't
Yes.
really not know who he is if you are a wrestling fan. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, one of the best ladder matches of all time, Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon for the IC championship.
WrestleMania 10. That was
Yeah,
uh,
the best ladder matches.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's tough, man. Once I heard the news, I think it was like a few days, it was like 2 days ago. I was hoping for the best, and then I saw Kevin Nash post this morning, and I was like, it just got worse from there. And I was in class all day, just checking my phone, waiting to see if there was any updates. And I was setting up my stream for Raw. I went on my stream for Raw for like 8:05, and as soon as I turned on USA, they were already showing the graphic. So,
Yeah.
and then that's when the tweet started coming out when WWE finally confirmed it. But yes. It's tough. It's freaking tough, man.
It's tough for sure. I mean, and the thing is, he passed away at the age of 63. Too young. They always take the good ones, it seems. But like everything, God has a plan, and it was just time. It was just time for Scott to be with him, and I'm just glad that at the end of the day he was surrounded by his friends and family, like Kevin, like X-Pac, or Sean. I believe his first name is Sean. Excuse me, but yeah, Sean Waltman is his name, but for X-Pac. But I'm just glad that he got to be surrounded by his friends and family, even if it wasn't like the best circumstances. We all know that, but as long as he was with friends and family to say their final goodbyes,
Yeah,
that's really all that means to me.
yeah. That's what when I saw the families coming in, I expected it was about to get bad because that's what they usually do when stuff is towards the end and when I have everyone there. But it's tough, man. I was talking about this on with the chat earlier. It was just like we just got the NWO version of 2K22, you know.
Yeah.
And last week, Damian Priest just randomly did the Razor's Edge on Finn Balor. He did it again tonight. I'm pretty sure that was like a planned spot. Like just, I guess they decided to do that.
Yeah,
As
it's
the
probably
night
a
went in.
tribute to him.
Yeah, but it was just the freaking sequence of events happening, and as time went on, it was definitely caught me off guard.
It's very eerie because, like you said, we had the NWO edition of 2K22.
Yeah.
Damian Priest obviously doing Razor's Edge.
Yeah.
It's not really as similar to this, but remember what happened with the Ultimate Warrior?
Yeah.
When the Ultimate Warrior was on, he was doing his Hall of Fame stuff, right? And then the Monday Night Raw, he comes on, he is doing his speech on Raw about life and death and how the spirit of the Ultimate Warrior will live forever. And then the next day he passed.
Yeah.
It's like he knew in a way, and then all of this comes out about Scott Hall. This was just supposed to be a routine surgery for a hip injury that he sustained in a fall in his home a few weeks ago. And then during the surgery, the whole blood clot thing happened, which caused the heart attacks. And people were asking me on TikTok left and right, or just pretty much anybody that has had contact with me, Phil, why haven't you talked about this like as much? I made a video earlier on today. It was Ian's question. You know Ian Banks, on TikTok. He asked me this, and I was like, I thank you for asking me this, but there's a personal reason as to why I didn't really talk about it all that much. And then all of a sudden, when this started coming out and happening, I was like, all right, well now I got to talk about this now because this is getting pretty bad, and we're all just gonna we're gonna get through this. It's just hard.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, guys, we're gonna be remembering him and his legacy forever. Scott Hall. I feel like he's definitely a person in the professional wrestling industry that deserved. From my knowledge, he was never a world champion.
No, I
And
think
that's
he had a 3-time IC title, I think.
Yeah, he was Intercontinental champion, but he never actually held the world title, which to me was kind of it wasn't ridiculous, but I was just kind of shocked knowing that he never held a world championship. Just knowing how charismatic this guy was, I thought for sure he could have been a world champion. He definitely was championship material for the world title, but at the end of the day, whatever he did in his career with the IC title, the NWO, pretty much anything he was doing in WCW and beyond, you can't dispute this man has changed the business for the better. And
Yeah.
we love him. We're gonna miss him. And may the bad guy rest in power. That's all we have to say there.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us right here on Outside the Brand. This is your Monday Night Raw post show here on March 14th, 2022. Before we get into the actual review, I want you guys to go follow us on social medias. All the TikTok links are down in the description below. If you guys want to talk to me on social media personally, at PhillyMatt_ is where you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. If you guys can hit that subscribe button down below as well, turn on the bell for all notifications. That way you never miss when we go live. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button down below as well. Turn on, for today's Monday Night Raw review, in memory of Scott Hall, let's see if we can get the stream to 12 likes minimum. That's the best way to help this video and pretty much any video you see here on Outside the Brand. We have a new week of content here coming to you guys this week. Last week was kind of all over the place, mainly because of 2K22 and just some things going on personally, but we're back. It's going to be a regularly scheduled programming from here on out, and we're going to be getting on right into the road to WrestleMania. We had a little bit of a tease tonight for a certain somebody, especially from where we were tonight from Monday Night Raw in Jacksonville. If you guys caught it, you guys caught it. If you guys didn't, it looks like we're going to actually be getting Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania this year. It's going to. From what we're getting, it looks like that's actually going to be the case, but we'll figure that out as we go along, heading into the road to WrestleMania. If you guys want to rep any of the actual merchandise that we got here on Outside the Brand, bonfire.com, the exclusive home of Outside the Brand and its merchandise. You got yourselves some t-shirts, you got hoodies, and much more to check out on bonfire.com. So if you're looking to rep the best podcast on TikTok today, go check out bonfire.com and finally get your merch today. Finally, before we get into the review, I just want to thank you guys, the OTP supporters. We see what you're doing, and we know that you come to us to you just come here for entertainment, and what you're doing here on these lives is not overlooked. We love that you're here, and we truly appreciate everything that you guys have been doing ever since OTP became a thing. So we love you. We appreciate you. Let's get right into tonight's show, man. Other than the news of Scott Hall, I'm going to be completely honest, Loft. This show sucked.
Damn right.
It sucked the life out of me. All the matches tonight were pretty pointless. The main event had some sort of stakes, but considering everything that was honestly going on with Kevin Owens and Stone Cold Steve Austin, there was no way Seth Rollins was going to win this match. There was no way Kevin was going to lose this. But that's what we're getting for Raw. Pointless matches or rematches every single week, and until we get to WrestleMania, nothing's really going to change. I don't even think once we get to WrestleMania, things are going to change.
I hope they do, because God, this was just. I come on the show and I'm already fucking sad, and then Raw doesn't do anything to help. It just makes it worse. There was nothing at all that even gave me a remote like smile on the show, except maybe for Edge. Edge was fucking awesome, but he's always awesome, so I expect that from him. But everything else was just boredom, and then all of us were waiting for something to happen at the end, and then nothing.
Nothing happened. Cody did not show up. Cody did not show up in Jacksonville. we are expecting Raw to be a nightmare. Other than what we actually get on a weekly basis. We were talking about nightmare Cody Rhodes. We were expecting a nightmare tonight. We didn't get the nightmare. But it's but it looks like we are going to be getting it. It's just like how long is WWE going to be waiting on this? Seriously, if we're going to get Cody versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, we got 3 weeks. We got 3 weeks to build this. Technically 2, and then we got 2 more Raws, and then it's WrestleMania time. So when are you going to build this? He better show up next week, or we're going to get this.
Yeah, I mean they're running out of time to build this. I'm not saying it's like a hard thing to build, but damn, they got to give some time for it to like some kind of tension to build. Because they can just throw people in the ring and say go, but it's just
like,
it doesn't make for a good match really, or a good story, I should say.
Why is it happening? That's what we need to know. Why is Cody Rhodes going after Seth Rollins, or why is Seth Rollins going after Cody Rhodes, or vice versa? Like what's the purpose of this? That's what the whole road to WrestleMania is about, to build stories, to build compelling stories. I'm not saying that Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes is not a compelling match. I honestly think it's going to be a great match if it actually does happen at WrestleMania, but I need to know why.
That would be nice.
I just need to know why. Other news, we had a championship celebration for RK Bro. Randy was throwing a party for Riddle, like Riddle did when they first won the Raw Tag Team Championships. That obviously led to a match between Riddle and Montez Ford. And it looks like we're actually going to be getting Riddle and Montez, no, RK Bro versus the Street Profits at WrestleMania. Oh gosh, his router cut off. But it looks like we're actually going to be getting RK Bro versus the Street Profits at WrestleMania. That's not WrestleMania worthy to me. I'm sorry. That's not really WrestleMania worthy to me. It's that's just your typical Monday Night Raw tag team match on one. And whether you guys agree with me or disagree with me, that's your prerogative. But that doesn't really mean anything to me. And then everything else on the show was just complete garbage. But yeah, we'll wait for Love to get back here. But like I said, thank you guys so much for joining us right here on Outside the Brand. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And we will get right into the Monday Night Raw review. Pretty much now we're gonna get started, and then once Love gets back in here, we will add him in, and we can have this discussion. For Monday Night Raw tonight, here on Outside the Brand, this is episode 152, and we're gonna get started. So, Monday Night Raw opens up the graphic acknowledging the passing of WWE Hall of Famer, 2-time WWE Hall of Famer, I should say, and Scott Hall. And you're back.
There we go. All right.
You didn't miss much. I was just mentioning about that whole RK Bro celebration, how that kind of just turned into a singles match, and it actually turns out we're getting RK Bro versus the Street Profits at WrestleMania, which is not really WrestleMania worthy to me.
I mean, they got no other tag teams on the roster.
It's true. You got no other tag teams on the roster, but that's just your typical Monday Night Raw match on WrestleMania. We did have Alpha Academy attack everybody afterwards, so maybe they can turn that into a triple threat tag match at Mania, but that's because everybody needs to be used on WrestleMania this year.
Yeah.
Or pretty much any year they do WrestleMania. If they do a triple threat tag match, that's your entire Raw tag team division.
Pretty much.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, besides the Mysterios, I mean, and the Mysterios kind of, I don't even know if they lost tonight. They won against the Hurt Business, right? We'll get to it. We'll get to it. They probably did, but besides the Mysterios, the rest of those 3 tag teams that were involved in that segment, that's your entire Monday Night Raw tag team division. And if that does come out to be the case for WrestleMania, we saw that a couple of days ago. So at least last week on Raw. So it's just your Monday Night Raw at WrestleMania. But we're gonna get right into the review, guys. Thank you so much for joining us right here on OTB episode 152. Let's get right into the show tonight. We open up the show with the graphic of the passing of Hall of Famer Scott Hall. We then see a replay of last week when Kevin Owens called for Stone Cold Steve Austin to appear on the KO show at WrestleMania. The next day, Stone Cold confirmed that he would be at WrestleMania on his Twitter account via a promo that he cut on Kevin Owens. And he says that Owens has awakened something inside of him that he has not felt in 19 years. Kevin Owens makes his way to the ring and says, "Hey, yo." The fans cheer. And he says that we're looking at right now the happiest Canadian camper in the world because he is going to WrestleMania. Owens said that he has used his superior Canadian intellect to get on the card this year. And since none of these yellow teeth Texans can turn down a challenge, he challenged the embodiment of Texas himself, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And before he knew it, Stone Cold accepted. Owens says he is proud of himself because now the entire world and the United States of America, they can get behind and they can witness the most stupendous KO show of all time when he stuns Stone Cold all over Texas. The only thing that he says the only thing that Stone Cold will actually be opening, that he'll be opening, is a can of whoop ass on the Texas Rattlesnake himself as he drinks a nice Canadian beer. Owens doesn't even like beer, but he'll make an exception on that night. Nobody will be saying, "Oh hell yeah," when he is done with Stone Cold. Everyone will be saying, "Oh hell no," as they watch him beat the living hell out of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Owens says in a quote, "And that's the bottom line, because KO said so." Owens then hit a cameraman with the stunner. When they were panning around the ring and everything, they showed the cameraman from like the hard cam, and I'm like, okay, that cameraman is gonna get stunned. You don't show the cameraman like that unless something's gonna happen. That was obviously a plant cameraman, and we'll probably find out the name of that independent wrestler soon. But yeah, that was just too easy to figure out. That cameraman was obviously going to get Stone Cold stunner.
Yeah, I was totally confused when he stunned him. I didn't put 2 and 2 together when I saw the cameraman just slowly getting closer to him. But that caught me off guard for a few seconds.
Yeah, so we saw that happen, and the cameraman did get stunned by Kevin Owens. We then had the United States champion Finn Balor making his way to the ring as he'll be facing Damian Priest in a non-title match as soon as we come back from commercial break. We come back from commercial break, and before the match can get underway, Austin Theory makes his way to the ring. We then see Replays of Theory challenging Pat McAfee for a match at WrestleMania, and the day after Vince McMahon was on the Pat McAfee show when he granted him a match at the shows. A week later, Theory then returned to Friday Night SmackDown and smacked the headphones off of Pat McAfee, and McAfee was then viciously attacked by Theory. Theory will be on commentary for this match. We had Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. Honestly, to be completely honest, and I'm just gonna say this right now, this was just a typical big man, little man matchup. That Damian Priest got the win here after hitting the Reckoning. Last week, Damian didn't hit the Reckoning. And people were wondering, I was like, all right, well, considering that's technically a crossroads, maybe there's a reason to why Damian's not really using that move anymore. He hit it tonight, so there wasn't really anything going on there. But at the end of the day, Damian Priest did pick up the win, and he pinned the United States champion. We're probably getting this match at WrestleMania again. We probably are, and at the end of the day, if it happens, it happens. But I'm telling you right now, man, Damian Priest is not doing anything for me
at all.
He's just not doing anything for me, and I don't know what it is. I really don't. I like Damian Priest. I at least I did until they started treating him like complete garbage.
I never knew what it was. People kept telling me he was better before, but I still don't see. He's giving me Baron Corbin vibes, and when a wrestler gives me Baron Corbin vibes, it's not good because I think Baron Corbin is the most boring wrestler ever. So Damian Priest is starting to get there for me, and I don't want him to because he had a cool gimmick, but then it just started to get weird, and now we're at a bad spot.
The Damian Priest of NXT, man, like that was just your hardcore punk rock New Yorker that just did not give a shit, and he was just living the rock star life with two ladies on each arm every single night in a hot tub, just chilling, having a good time. This Damian Priest, I don't even know who he is anymore. He's unrecognizable to the point where I legitimately don't even know if he even deserves a WrestleMania match at this point. I would not be shocked if he was in the United States Championship match at WrestleMania, but I would not also be shocked if he was just delegated to the WrestleMania Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I would not be shocked. I like Damien. I do. But when you treat him like this, to where I cannot honestly get behind him, because I just simply don't know what to do with him. I know he's supposed to be a heel. I know I'm supposed to boo him. But the fact that I'm supposed to do something makes me not. And it makes me figure out that, like, all right, they really don't know what the fuck to do with him.
They're trying something. It's just not working because the crowd doesn't really care that much. And then they like slightly sliced his theme. They slightly sliced it, like it made it a little bit shorter than it was.
Yeah.
And that never is a good sign when they start messing with stuff even more. So now I'm even more worried. So it's just a bad situation at this point.
Here's the thing though. The only reason why I'm giving Damian Priest some credit here is that he's legitimately trying to make this shit work. It may not be working, but he is trying so goddamn hard to try to make this work. And even if it's not, I give him all the credit in the world for at least trying, because he wants to make this work. He wants to do this whole storyline with Finn Balor and make it work. It's just if the crowd and the fans just don't know what to do, we're going to tell you whether we like it or whether we don't. And most of the time, when it comes to this kind of situation and when it comes to just this type of booking, we're going to tell you that we don't like it because it's just a way that we can only get our opinions out there. Or unless you have something like this to where you can talk it out amongst friends. But I don't know. Damian Priest completely up and down for me right now, and it's most likely down.
Hopefully they figure something out because I guess that's why they try to throw him a win tonight. But there's no reason why the champion should be losing matches on Raw in the first place. So it just
Thank you.
It looks bad all the way around. So I don't know what they're trying to do, but I don't know.
Seth Rollins does an interview backstage, and he's asked if he has a clear path to WrestleMania or not by Kevin Patrick. Rollins, he puts his hand in like a wrapping around Patrick's neck type of motion, but he calms down, he puts his hands down, just does not answer the question, and walks off. At the same time, he was pissed that he was just not getting a spot at WrestleMania. But come to later on tonight, we then figured out what Rollins had planned all along. We then had a match between Omos and Commander Achoo. A sneeze.
He sucks.
Well, why? Can you legitimately explain to me why this match had to happen?
Big meaty men slapping meat. That's about it.
Shout out to Big E real quick. This shit was terrible.
Big meaty men slapping meat, bro.
Commander Azeez is not a wrestler. Omos can barely walk. All he can do is scream.
For the most part.
And I just feel bad for Apollo at the end of the day.
I think this is the best match so far.
Omos's or Z's?
Omos.
Honestly, you know what? You're not wrong.
He didn't look
you're
like
not
terrible this time.
It wasn't terrible, but it was just pointless.
Good. It wasn't good.
Yeah.
It just wasn't like revolting like it usually is.
Yeah. At the end of the day, this was just pointless. We had a choke slam bomb. We had like a double hand choke slam bomb for the win. Omos does pick up the W. The one person I feel bad in all of this for is Apollo. That man has completely lost everything about him.
They ruined it themselves when they gave him that fake ass African accent, like he wasn't talking regular for 3 years, and now they come in there talking crazy. Like, no, it's not how that works. And then
we all know he's not Nigerian.
I think he might be, but that's cool. But don't do the fake accent thing. That's my issue.
Okay, well, yeah, he might be. But if he is, fine. Like, I don't care if you're trying to bring your culture into your character. Like, honestly, that's really cool of you to try to do. But when it's overproduced and when it's just overmanufactured and fake, that's when shit can go downhill. And that's when it has.
Yeah.
Like, when they first brought this character upon him, I'm like, okay, let's try it. Let's see if this works. Because he was already a heel, so why not bring something into this? I mean, I understand bringing in other cultures when it comes to professional wrestling may be a hit or miss, but I was willing to give this a chance. And then he brought out the accent.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know that's not how Apollo talks. So they were trying to over-manufacture that. And from what have you. But the man... this guy could be a champion in this company. In fact, I don't know. Has he had a championship yet? I don't think so. No, he had the United States title. He had the United States title, right?
He had the U.S. and the IC, I think.
IC title, yeah.
He had the feud with E.
Oh, that's right. That's when we got the goddamn drum match at WrestleMania. That was terrible, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has been. Oh, okay, yeah. So he's a one-time IC and a one-time US champion. But yeah, this guy. He could be so much more. That's pretty much what I'm trying to get at here. And at the end of the day, I just feel bad for him knowing U-Haul Nation is relegated to this for Apollo Crews. It's just sad. And I remember Apollo as U-Haul Nation. U-Haul Nation was fantastic before joining NXT. Like I don't know if you saw Apollo before even coming to WWE period, before NXT or anything like that. But U-Haul Nation was fantastic, bro.
I had no idea who it was until I saw him on NXT that one time.
U-Haul Nation was great. And
yeah, I don't remember. I think it was.
It was. I just feel bad. I do. Apollo deserves so much more.
Mm-hmm.
After the match, Omos drags Apollo into the ring, and he gets a chokeslam bomb for his efforts as well. Owens then approaches Rollins backstage and tells him he needs to stop being so glum. He is Seth freaking Rollins for crying out loud, and he can still be at WrestleMania and still have a WrestleMania moment. Owens reminds Rollins who he is and what he's done in past WrestleManias, and says that the two of them can still come up with something together. Rollins then has an epiphany. He was getting so excited. He was having like he was like a kid in a candy shop, and he was just walking out of frame, smiling. I'm like, ah, shit, he's got something. And I was honestly kind of intrigued until we figured out what it actually was later on in the night.
Yeah.
So that was something, and I was like, okay, sure, well, let's try this. We can lead into this Cody Rhodes business, right? Nah. Liv Morgan with Rhea Ripley took on Queen Zelina Vega and Carmella. In singles competition, it was Liv versus Zelina. Match meant nothing.
Nope.
I believe last week it was the tag match between these two. So it was just singles competition this time around. Next week we'll probably get Rhea versus Carmella. If Carmella can even get in the ring, because she was all over Corey Grace tonight. I don't know, man. This is just shit.
I don't know what was the point of this. I'm really scared for what Liv Morgan's character is going to do, because I see Sasha and Naomi winning the belts at WrestleMania. So yes. I'm really scared at what happens with Liv and Rhea. I don't know why they're in the tag team, and Rhea just got out of the tag team. And you just threw Nikki with freaking Doudrop for some reason. So it's just I don't understand why they don't just like pick up like 5 teams from NXT and bring them, like Casey and Kaden. You can bring Persia and Indy.
Yeah.
You can damn near bring everyone who loses, like the last 5 teams that lose in the Dusty tournament. You can just call them up to the roster. Then you have more of a tag team division than you had. It's a start, you know. So it just it sucks right now.
Liv Morgan did pick up the victory, hitting the Oblivion on Zelina Vega. Corey and Carmella were all over the place in this. Corey was trying to protect Carmella from Rhea Ripley, who was on the outside, because she saw what Carmella did to try to take out Liv Morgan. But at the end of the day, Liv does pick up the win and get some momentum heading into WrestleMania. Point is, Zelina and Carmella are going to lose the tag team titles. It's not going to be to Liv and Rhea. I'm telling you that right now. Like Loft said, it will be to Sasha and Naomi. Sasha can finally get her first win at WrestleMania. But like you said, Loft, I don't know what the heck they're going to do with Liv and Rhea moving forward from this, because this random ass tag team just is not it. They don't fit together. I'm sorry. Just because we love both of these women does not mean tag team. Easy.
They don't have anything else to do unless they just go to NXT and bring them up. It's not that hard. It's like they have a whole bunch of resources they can do. They can take from, and they just refuse to take them for some odd reason.
Oh, and I guarantee you guys that WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, like I thought was probably going to happen this year, there's no shot. There's no shot at a WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal taking place this year.
Why not?
I highly doubt that, because we're going to get 6 women here involved in this match. We're going to, who else is there to do a WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal?
Shit, I don't know.
Unless you bring all these legends back again, which is not the right move.
That's just the Royal Rumble all over again.
Exactly. So I highly doubt we get a WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. The Andre the Giant thing, that's most likely going to happen because you got so much other mid-card to jobber guys just waiting to be fed to Omos at WrestleMania. And we can see him win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I'm not saying that that's most likely going to be the case, but that's WWE right there. That being said, I just don't think a WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal is happening this year. If it does, I'm going to be completely shocked, because who else did it got?
Nothing.
Right. So we'll see what happens. We then had the segment. Well, once Liv won the match, we then heard the Architects music hit for Seth Rollins, and I was like, what the heck is Seth doing out here for this? He gets in the ring, and Rhea and Liv were walking out the ring, and he was trying to get them to dance with him and everything, and he's like, no, just get out of here. And they did. I was just confused as to why he was coming out after a women's match. I was like, what the hell is happening here?
Yeah.
But it then turned out to be that he was going to pretty much proclaim his idea for WrestleMania. He comes out to the ring and he says that he has a plan to get to WrestleMania. And with less than 3 weeks to go, he thought all hopes were lost, but he wants his best friend Kevin Owens to come out here to share in the glory with him. His best friend reminded him that he is a visionary and a revolutionary, and that he has a plan. Owens then joins Rollins in the ring, and Seth says that KO has a talk show, and he has a guest known as Stone Cold Steve Austin. But what if he also had a talk show? He could bring back the Rollins report from the old days, or what the heck was that other name he said? Like Freaking Speaking with Seth Rollins? What the hell was that?
Yo, that shit was hilarious. Yo, Freaking Speaking.
That I legitimately died laughing at, because I was like, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Speaking,
Please
speaking.
name it that for WrestleMania, because I was gonna say please name that for WrestleMania, because that would just put this all in a nutshell as to how bad WrestleMania is gonna be with freaking speaking with Seth freaking Rollins. That legitimately got me laughing out loud. Even though it was a sad night for sure. He said, "Listen, I can bring back the Rollins report from back in the day, and hell, I can even interview Stone Cold too. Why not, right?" Kevin was like, "No, Seth, you can't have your own talk show. That's a terrible idea. Stone Cold's my guest. Like, you gotta think of something different. Like, think more about this." Rollins says, "Listen, Owens, you're right. There only could be one talk show on WrestleMania. So how about we have a match tonight, and the winner gets Stone Cold?" Owens is like, "No, like this is not happening. Like you can't just take my idea. Like that's just not gonna happen. So no, I decline your challenge." They start bickering back and forth until Sonya Deville comes out, and at that point, from my knowledge, I thought she was done as an authority figure, but apparently not.
Yeah.
So she comes out and she says, "Listen, honestly, I'm not mad at Seth's idea. So in the main event tonight, it'll be Rollins versus Owens, and if Rollins wins, he'll replace him. He'll replace Kevin at WrestleMania." And then I was just dumbfounded. I was like, "Wait a second. So KO has to win this shit, right?" I'm like, they already made a graphic for the KO show at WrestleMania with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Kevin Owens has been going after Texas and pretty much anybody that's lived in Texas for the past couple of weeks, let alone months, honestly.
Yeah, no,
How can Kevin Owens lose this?
I'm happy he didn't, because God.
Because I was just so complex as to why. It's like, what's really happening here? I understand you're trying to give some stakes heading into this, but the stakes are pointless knowing the outcome already because you already showed us a graphic. And yeah, sure, you could have made another graphic to make the appeal that much more unlikely. But there was no way they weren't going to have Kevin Owens lose this match.
Thank God they didn't, because we got much more.
Oh, I know people would have been pissed too.
Yeah.
So up next, I would go over like the video packages that they showed up and everything. But after commercial break, Kevin Owens was actually complaining to Sonya Deville backstage about Rollins potentially taking his place at WrestleMania. He's like, "Why are you condoning people stealing ideas? Like, this is not right. You know this is not right. You know I had the match. I had the spot at WrestleMania. All this stuff. They cut off that shit." And then we get back into the ring where Dominic and Rey Mysterio were honest. I believe they were already in the ring. I believe both teams were already in the ring.
I think so.
I feel like both of them were already in the ring at this point because I just heard the bell ring when I came back into my room. So if one of them made an entrance, it was obviously very short because we had Dominic and Rey Mysterio, Booyaka Booyaka 619, Booyaka Booyaka, Rey and Dominic Mysterio taking on Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, who are still technically being called the Hurt Business, even though they're not.
They're not hurting anybody. We just
They're not the Hurt Business. They're the Job Business, if anything. I know that was a terrible pun, guys. You guys can boo me, but they are
Oh.
pretty much jobbers at this point.
Yeah.
This meant nothing. Like, why is this happening? Ray and Dominic did pick up the win here after a frog splash from Dom. But as soon as the match ends, Logan and The Miz rush to the ring and they attack the Mysterios. Logan shoves Ray at Miz, who looks for a skull crushing finale, but Mysterio then kicks Logan away and throws Miz out of the ring. Ray and Dominic then surround Logan, who swings at them, but then gets kicked and beat down. The Mysterios look for a 619, but Logan, but Miz drags him out of the ring, and that's it. We do get the Mysterios versus Logan Paul and The Miz at WrestleMania. Not looking forward to this whatsoever. But that's what we're getting. And apparently we're having 7 more matches confirmed for the card. From WrestleVotes on Twitter, they confirmed that 7 more matches could be on this card next for WrestleMania.
I'm excited.
What else is there?
So excited.
What else is there to do? Can you legitimately name 7 more matches that were actually WrestleMania worthy or WWE WrestleMania worthy for this card? Because I can't.
Not off the top of my head, no.
You see, yeah, so there's nothing. I just don't get it. 7 more matches to be confirmed for WrestleMania. And I can't name one. And I can't. We then see a replay of Edge's new entrance and promo from last week on Raw, to where he said that he's been reborn and he's on a whole different level. Edge will be live next. We come back and Edge makes his way to the ring with new music. It's still Alter Bridge. I feel like people don't know that. It's still Alter Bridge. The people that made his old music. It's still the people that sing Metalingus, but this song and Loft, this song is still by Alter Bridge, but it's known as The Other Side.
This song is freaking amazing.
This song is great.
This is crazy.
I love that they kept Alter Bridge.
Yeah.
Because Miles Kennedy is probably one of the best vocals when it comes to rock music like this. I love Alter Bridge. I don't know if you guys know that about me or not. I'm a huge Alter Bridge fan. I love this type of rock.
Yeah.
This right here is the epitome of like my style for rock music. The Other Side by Alter Bridge is fantastic for this Edge. Here's the thing. When he's a babyface Edge, have it be Metalingus. Perfect. I love Metalingus. I think Metalingus fits Edge so perfectly. But The Other Side should be Edge's heel theme and heel theme only. Yeah. I love that. Who says a wrestler can't have 2 theme songs for their 2 separate personalities?
I actually kind of like prefer it. You know?
I dig that, honestly.
It's a very good job, and Edge is doing a great job of like doing a complete turn to what he has been since his return. I don't know why people were like scared about Edge turning heel. Like Edge, to me, Edge is a heel like at heart.
Yes, Edge is to me, he's such a better heel.
Yeah. So
Edge can pull off a babyface. I'm not saying that whatsoever. Edge can be a great babyface. We've seen how he's evolved the babyface character since his comeback. But Edge, you look at Edge and you see a heel.
Yeah,
for sure. But I love the other side by Ultra Bridge. I think it fits him perfectly. People were really pissed off that this is actually happening. I honestly like it. I dig it.
You know what I think this leads to though? I think Edge is gonna win at WrestleMania.
To be completely honest, though, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind him winning. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people want AJ Styles to win this, but at the end of the day, as long as I see the match, I don't care. I'll be happy with either guy winning.
Yeah,
but I would not mind. I would not mind Edge winning this.
It seems like it's leaning towards Edge right now. It seems like it's leaning towards Edge at the moment.
So he came out to the other side by Ultra Bridge, and it was just great. We had I love that beginning of the theme. It was like, you think you know me, you never really did, or something of that nature. Like, that was so good. And then it played the Ultra Bridge other side theme, and I was like, that is so good. That is so good. Ash says, what's up?
You know what they're doing with all the entrances now? They're adding vocals to like the beginning and then the song starts.
Yeah.
They're doing that with a lot of them now.
Yeah.
I some of them are cool. I hate Queen Zelina going, oh, the Queen is here. Get ready for it. I hate that. But I mean,
yeah.
A lot of them, I don't want them to like overdo it though, because they did the Austin Theory. You see, did with Edge. I don't want them to do it to like Roman or something, because I feel like that would just ruin it. But
well, Edge kind of made sense because this whole like other side of him, like that fit him. Like, you think you know me, well, you never really did, or whatever it really said. But that, to me, when it comes to this, especially kind of heel character for him, that fit. But you're right. I don't want them to continue putting vocals at the beginning and then the song playing. It would just feel too overproduced.
Yeah.
Edge says that he is the benchmark of WWE. His synapses have been firing at such speed that it's taken him some time to come to grasp with that fact. He wants to put it in terms that even fans like us can understand. He's better than every single person in the industry. But since he came back 2 years ago, he hasn't shown that aptitude. The Edge that came back and was just happy to be there was weak. That Edge was keen to please the fans, but he's realized that the fans don't matter to him. He took his eyes off the prize and let a man like Randy Orton tear his tricep off the bone, allowed Rollins to walk into his home and piss all over the territory, allow an Aquaman cosplay like Roman Reigns to stack him and pin him at WrestleMania.
That was funny. I liked that.
That was a good line. I'm not gonna lie.
That was funny.
That was a good line. If Edge faced AJ Styles in WrestleMania, he'd get smoked. But that Edge is a dead baby. Or is dead baby. Sorry, Jesus. don't. That was terrible. It's dead baby. My God, sorry. Oh man, that's gonna get me canceled.
It's a dead baby.
It's a dead baby. I'm sorry.
We're good.
Yeah. Now he sits on his mountain. He sits on his mountain looking down on everyone. He won't be judged by the fans, anyone in the locker room, and certainly not by AJ Styles. from now on he will pass the verdicts and he'd apologize for that if he cared, but he doesn't. So if AJ can make it to WrestleMania, where two generational talents will meet for the first time ever, then he will get judged. This was just a great promo by Edge.
Yeah.
As always.
He looks
Edge on the mic since his comeback, dude, has been phenomenal.
He looks more focused than I've seen him in a minute. I think like his persona during like the Roman stuff, he was a little bit more whiny and stuff like that. But this looks more like purely focused on winning. So
I love the feud that he had with Rollins. I think that was probably one of the best feuds that he's had ever since his comeback, really. The feud that he had with The Miz was a major step down.
Yeah.
He tried to make it work, especially when Beth Phoenix got into the fold and everything. But let's be real, it was just a major step downward.
Yeah. Wasn't needed.
Right, exactly. It just was not needed. But now that we're finally getting this, we're finally getting Edge and AJ Styles. Like this is a type of level of rivalry that is deserved for Edge on the final year of his deal for WrestleMania. Because if you guys don't know, this is the final year of his deal.
Really?
Yeah, this is the final year of his deal. After WrestleMania, they're going to have to talk to see if he can get an extension. Because this is the final year of his deal. I'm glad they switched this around because, to be completely honest, guys, if you guys did not know, the Miz and Maurice storyline was actually supposed to continue, and we were supposed to get a mixed tag match at WrestleMania. I'm super glad they pushed it at the Rumble, because if we had this at WrestleMania, well, honestly, it would be better than what we're getting now with the Miz, but you get what I mean. Right? Like that was just not a WrestleMania worthy type angle. This is a WrestleMania type angle. And the way that they turned him heel for all of this, I'm fine with it. And hopefully we get a good match at WrestleMania, and hopefully we still get to see Edge in WWE, because I do not want him to leave.
Yeah.
Because there's so many other people in this company I would love to see Edge face, whether that be a heel or a baby face.
I don't know where I see this part of his career ending, because it really could have ended anywhere in these past few feuds. So I don't know.
Do you think this is just a one-time heel appearance for this type of Edge, or do you think he'll be this heel character in the long run heading into these next few feuds, if he does choose to stay?
I assume he's gonna retire as a heel, because I wonder if like when he signed his new contract, they were like, all right, you do a face a little bit, heel a little bit, and then you're done. I just don't know how long the heel stuff will go for. I don't know if he'll get like 3 feuds as the heel stuff, or if he'll just end it now. But all of it, for the exception of the Miz stuff, has been good. So I mean,
oh yeah,
only time will tell at this point.
So this was a great promo by Edge. We're probably going to be able to see AJ next week if I'm hoping correctly.
He said he'll be there next week.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So we'll get Edge next. We'll get Edge and AJ Styles hopefully next week, possibly in a face-to-face or a confrontation. Honestly, I'm not gonna be shocked that like the Raw before WrestleMania, we could possibly see a contract signing for this, even though it doesn't even really need that. Mainly because of how big this match already is. It wouldn't shock me though. Having them still be face to face with each other right before WrestleMania just seems right. But we'll see what happens. Point is, I like this new Edge. Even if people do not really like this new theme all that much, I honestly think it fits him, and I think this could be a really good thing for Edge. If he wins it, if he loses it, that's not a big deal. It puts AJ over, but I'm not going to be mad at either person winning it.
That's the great thing about this feud. It can really go any direction. I think those are the best feuds where you can just wait and watch,
and enjoy it.
Yeah, and then just see what happens. So, but Phil, I gotta go to bed. I got a class tomorrow morning.
No worries, bro. Doudrop and Bianca, that was just pointless. Get that out of the way right now.
Yeah.
Bianca just gets her win at WrestleMania, and then I'll probably be talking about the Arcade Bro Party and the main event. That's it. So you can head on to bed. Have a good night, and we'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all for coming to the stream. RP Razor Ramon, and I'll see y'all very soon, man.
Hey yo.
Hey yo.
Have a good night, man. I'll talk to you soon. All right, guys, we're going to be talking about this whole Arcade Bro Party thing. Montez and Riddle ended in disqualification, as we all know, because of Alpha Academy's involvement. The Arcade Bro Party was cool and everything. Pretty much Randy was saying, like, listen, last time you threw a party like this, it was when we first won the tag team titles, but this time around, I decided to throw the party. Never been at WrestleMania as a tag team champion, but I've also never been to WrestleMania with a friend either. And you are a friend, so I want to thank you guys for that. Street Profits came out saying, listen, when it comes to these tag team titles, Riddle, we're not bros. We're not. We're challenging you to a match at WrestleMania. Randy said no. Riddle then convinced Randy to have the match at WrestleMania, and we will get that at WrestleMania. RK Bro versus Street Profits is confirmed now for WrestleMania, and it kind of just snowballed into a match between Riddle and Montez Ford. We had the match. It was an okay match, but it ended in disqualification when the Alpha Academy took all of them out. And that was it. We had this beautiful Scott Hall package, video package rather. Absolutely beautiful. May Scott Hall rest in peace. You guys know everything about Scott Hall. I kind of went over it in the open, but just may he rest in peace. And yeah, it's just a sad moment for sure. But yeah, may he rest in peace. And then we had the main event: Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. If Rollins wins, he replaces Owens at WrestleMania. This was a great match. As always, I mean, it's Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. I wouldn't expect anything less than a great match. But this was a great match. This was awesome chance for it coming from the fans. Owens looks for a stunner, but Rollins runs him into the corner, where the referee is forced to bail from the ring to avoid impact. Rollins rolls up KO, but the referee, since he was out of the ring, he had to get back in position, and he kicked, and KO kicks out. Seth is berates the referee, but Owens spins him around and hits a stunner for the win, and Kevin Owens picks up the win. Owens celebrates his huge win after the fact, and he will get to host the KO show at WrestleMania with Stone Cold Steve Austin as his guest. Rollins stares at the WrestleMania sign, and Corey says his dreams of a WrestleMania moment has been dashed. If you guys don't know, dashing Cody Rhodes, that was a little subtle tease that we could possibly be getting Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 38 this year. But we still got only 2 weeks to figure this out, so he has to show up next week, otherwise this means nothing. And that's the way Raw went off the air. As Owens was just celebrating and Rollins was just staring at that WrestleMania sign, just hoping and praying for the best that he could be a part of this year's WrestleMania. And that's it, guys. That's it for your Monday Night Raw review. Hope you guys enjoyed what you guys saw tonight on the post-show review. If you guys did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell for all notifications. That way you never miss when we go live. Make sure to go to bonfire.com, the exclusive home of Outside the Brand and its merchandise. So if you want to wear OTB merch at live events, or you want to make anything for OTB, you want to rep OTB, bonfire.com, the exclusive home of Outside the Brand, is where you guys can go get that merchandise. And guys, like I said, if you guys get the OTB merch and you guys rep it in a TikTok video and you tag me in that video, I will be duetting it, and I'll be giving you guys a shout out on my TikTok page. So you guys want a shout out on my TikTok or anything of that nature, you guys can totally go get the merch, and I will be and I'd be glad to duet you and rep the OTB merch with you. Thank you guys so much for joining us right here on Outside the Brand, episode 152, in memory of Scott Hall. I'm going to leave you guys with the graphic one more time, as we will be giving another 20-second moment of silence for Scott Hall. And we will be heading on out very, very shortly. We love and appreciate you guys here. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And we'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Have a good night, guys. Let's have that moment of silence for Scott Hall. Thank you.